You cannot buy a human being. You cannot replace a human being. Any possession can be replaced, but no human being.
Helen Colin was a Holocaust survivor who found ways to persevere and live despite her sufferings. How did she do it? What gave her the strength to live? To find these answers, let us look back in time before the Holocaust and World War II. Young Colin lived with her parents, sisters, and brother in Lodz, Poland. Colin's father loved children. He played with Colin, he loved her, and he cared for her. Colin's mother was kind-hearted and deeply cared for her daughter. The two had an inseparable bond.
I didn't need anybody other than my mother.
Now let's jump to 1939 when the Nazis took over Poland. Colin's family was sent to a ghetto with many other Jews. Over time, everyone was starved and weakened. Many people died at the ghetto, including Colin's father.
Father's 49 years old and we were so young, Why this happened, I still don't know. I ask myself.
Soon everyone was forced to go to Auschwitz. Colin had a husband who she loved and was loved by deeply. Due to some reasons, they were given the chance to stay, but not Colin's family. Colin told her husband that she was going to follow her family because she couldn't live without them. And while he could have stayed back, he decided to join her. Colin was very fortunate to have her husband who loves her. In fact, she is very fortunate to have her family who loves her. After the war, Colin continued to be a loving person, and I believe it was because she was around people like her family who loved her and was loved by her that she turned out that way. At the camp, her mother and younger sister were sent to the gas chamber. Colin was constantly moving camps to do forced labor. If anyone were to mess up or get on the bad side of any supervisors, they would be beaten or killed.
Many of us would have preferred to die. This was no life.
Despite all this, Colin persevered because she remembered what her mother would always tell her.
You should only look beautiful and smart by strangers.
While they were wise words, Colin only listened despite her suffering because she loved her mother, and her mother loved her.
You cannot buy a human being. You cannot replace a human being. Any possession can be replaced, but no human being.
You would expect that she would live the rest of her lives hating people and society, but no. From during her time in the camps, to after she was liberated, to even years after the war, she persevered and was full of love because she loved and was loved by others. And that's what I find so inspirational about Helen Colin and people like her. They were surrounded and filled with love so that even in the darkest days, they will persevere because of that love. Through love, you live and persevere, no matter the circumstances.